Gaming is too damn expensive. What a bold and original statement to make, I know. Gaming corporations are too greedy these days, they cry. $70 is the new standard price for most AAA games, and many people are quick to point the finger at typical corporate greed for this being the case. And yeah, while you can attribute some of the blame to that, is that really all there is to it? Has anyone really considered how expensive games are to make and distribute now? Because it's really bullshit how bad the gaming market has inflated itself. And no, I'm not talking about Nintendo charging $70 for 2 Wii games. Selling overpriced ports is just par for the course for Nintendo. No, I'm talking about how insanely expensive gaming production has been and how it's damaging for both the consumer and the industry. And what better example to use than GTA 6? The game with estimated budget is a whopping $1 to $2 billion. Yes, you heard that right, not millions, billions. I don't know if that's actually true or not because I haven't found any official source to back that up, but if it is, holy shit. Do you know how many copies this game will have to sell in order to turn a profit? Now, I'm not the greatest mathematician out there, so bear with me here. In order to do this right, we'd have to know how much the game is going to be marketed for, to which we don't know yet as of writing and recording this script. But given the direction the gaming industry is taking, let's assume the game is going to be $90, which is unlikely, I know, but let's just roll with it. You wince at that, but I didn't know you're gonna buy the game anyway. So $90 retail for GTA 6, right? But unless you're buying the game digitally, Rockstar is not going to get the full $90 for each transaction. If this explanation from this anonymous redditor is anything to go off of, you have to take into account an upwards of $23 being subtracted from the initial $90 to accompany shipping taxes and retail profits. So let's say Rockstar really only gets about $77 for each copy sold, and let's say the game's budget is only around $1 billion, since to be honest, that seems more plausible than $2 billion. If my math is mathing correctly, Rockstar would have to sell 12 million copies to break even, which by the way, the $1 billion in question does not cover advertising, which itself would probably be around another $50 to $100 million. Will Rockstar be able to make that money back? Of course they fucking will. It's Grand Theft Auto 6, the most anticipated game of the century. But whether or not GTA 6 will flop isn't the point. The point is that AAA game development has become absurdly expensive. According to the United Kingdom's Competition and Markets Authority, the typical budget for your average AAA game is around $200 million fucking dollars, with that year's COD game costing over $300 million to produce. Holy fucking shit, game development sure is expensive, especially since, like I said, there are so many factors that go into determine a game's profit. First, you gotta pay the development team, and if you're not developing the game yourself and are outsourcing it to another studio, that might cost you more, not to mention testing. But when the game's done, you gotta split the profits from the distributor and retailer, and if you're a third-party developer, it's even worse, because you also gotta split your winnings with the respective console manufacturer, which is estimated to be a 30% cut in your profits. All of these factors contribute to an industry that is only getting more stupidly expensive and harder to keep afloat by the day. Doing the math, the average AAA game needs to sell around 4 million copies to break even, which, as we all know, isn't guaranteed, because 4 million is a big ass number. It may not seem like much compared to the millions and millions of gamers around the globe, but to put into perspective, 4 million people would make up the entire population of Panama, so you pretty much have to get the entirety of Panama to buy your game to so much as break even, let alone make a profit. That is fucking insane. And if you're a live service game, fucking forget about it. That's an entirely different can of worms that is just as much, if not more expensive than your average AAA game. Because on top of initial development and marketing costs, you also have to take into account the cost of running the servers needed to make the damn game work in the first place, as well as maintenance. Plus, with all these live service games, development is never truly finished, since there will be more updates for it until the goddamn sun explodes. Plus, you'll have all your investors barking in your ear to do this, that, and the third, so that'll also be a huge pain in the ass. It's essentially one giant gamble, which is why in recent years we've seen so many of these things crash and burn. Suicide Squad, Babylon's Fall, Multiverses, and most infamously Conquered. Poor thing didn't even last a month. So it's gotten to a point where I gotta ask, why in the fuck are games so expensive to develop nowadays? Well, I'll tell you why. Most game developers pander to the fucking fat fat, sweaty neckbeard to update their graphics cards and GPU every few months, because we gotta have that pristine 4K ultra resolution and top of the line ray tracing and lighting effects. Plus every fucking video game now has to be an open world, so you bet your ass that's gonna inflate the budget exponentially. And for what? 30 hours of meandering fluff with the occasional short bursts of actual fun gameplay? When goddamn Mario Kart goes open world, you know it's gone too far. And of course, rising development costs will lead to rising spending costs as well. $70 is the new norm, baby. It must really suck right now to be a normie who only plays COD in 2K, because that $70 price tag is not going away anytime soon. And I'm not gonna lie to you all, despite everything I just said, it really does annoy me every time I see someone on Twitter or YouTube complain about modern AAA games by saying they're too expensive or soulless, because like, you're still buying the goddamn game. Nintendo fags love saying that Nintendo aren't how they used to be and how their products are expensive as hell, yet they still buy them. Like, no, you can't have it both ways. You can't be critical of a corporation while shilling the hell out of them, because any critiques you have ring hollow, since you'll never actually act on anything. If you want gaming corporations to actually listen to you and take what you say seriously, act with your wallet, because words alone mean nothing to them. Oh, let people buy what they want. It's their money, their choice. It's not that deep. Shut the fuck up, you consumer. I bet that Nintendo dick tastes real good down your throat after you bought your 3rd Switch 2 and 8th copy of Mario Kart World, because being a faggot consumer is how we got to this point in the first place. I'm sick of these cocksellers telling their families of idiots to be complacent in this world of ever-growing game prices and to not judge other consumers. We don't all have that YouTube money, Scott. Not all of us can wipe our ass with $80 and not have it fuck up our bank accounts. This economy is shit enough as it is. Thanks, Donald. And I'm sorry, but if you actually bought a Switch 2, I'm going to call you a fucking dumbass, because you are. If you're not a YouTuber millionaire and are just a regular ass person like me, how does it feel knowing you spent a whole week's check on a console you don't even technically own? Because that's the future of gaming, baby. Sony and Microsoft weren't pushing their digital-only consoles for nothing. It's all about greed and controlling the way you play your games. All because you just couldn't stand to not buy something with Mario on the cover. For shame, you pitiful bastard. And for this, let's go back to GTA 6. If that $1 to $2 billion budget is legit, I gotta ask, how much is Rockstar willing to sell this game for in order to make a profit? Because GTA is no small scale game, as we all know. Given the way the gaming industry is heading, I can legitimately see Rockstar selling this game for $100, which if they do, I think that'll be the straw that breaks the camel's back for there to finally be a second gaming crash. With how retardedly expensive games are to make and buy, I can totally see a $100 game totally fucking the gaming industry upside its head. People will riot in the fucking street. Will that actually happen? Probably not, but I still think it's something to be wary of, because a $70 price tag and over 100 gigabyte download is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Modern gaming does not and should not have to be this way. Does it really matter if the shadows have a few minuscule pixels you can't even see? Are you that much of a touch deprived loser that you have to see every damn pore of the character's face? Because that right there is what's killing the gaming industry. But there is an alternative. Just play different games. I mean, what the hell even is a Black Myth Wukong anyway? I promise you, there are so many quality indie games out there that's far below the asking price of many AAA games. Indie games are the only reason I bother tuning into Summer Games Fest, in all honesty. In fact, let me put you on some of them. Animal Well. This is a spectacular Metroidvania that is visibly and audibly captivating from start to finish. Mouse P.I. for Hire is an upcoming incredible looking first-person shooter that takes inspiration from 1920s rubber hose animations. Fields of Mistria is a cute and calming farming sim with plenty of fun characters and gameplay variety. Schedule 1. You play as a drug dealer. Need I say more? And of course, Deltarune. It's not finished yet, of course, but it's peak regardless. Fucking play it now, goddammit. And all of these games are for but a fraction of what Black Ops 7 costs. 7? There are 7 fucking Black Ops games? Good lord, at what point does this become a fucking parody? In short, while it can be incredibly easy to be an asshole and say, oh, games were just $60 a decade ago, and now they're $70. Games are too expensive these days. I think it's important for people to evaluate why games are so expensive and what we can do about it. That being, stop giving Nintendo and Activision your money. Or don't. I really don't care. Okay, bye.